Welcome back. Penguin training camp opened up. I'll tell you what, they are loaded. Another team that you would expect to go far in the Eastern Conference Finals. So is Washington. So is Toronto. I think the East is going to be really good. But we start this preseason off with Mike Sullivan, and certainly condolences to his family on the loss of his dad, with a line configuration that includes Daniel Sprong on the top line. So, Colin, when you look at that, how much time should Daniel Sprong be given on that top line, considering it's a long season and you need some time to see how he will do? He was in Sullivan's doghouse originally because he doesn't play a lot of defense.
But he came out of the gate last. This is the easiest question you've ever asked, Bob. I got an answer for this.
Okay.
You give him a finite period of time. You tell him, Daniel Sprong, we don't like you, really, and they've made no bones about that. But we're giving you 25 games to start the season. You have 25 games to start the season. Show us something. Show us you could back check. Show us you could play 90 feet at times. Show us you could go out and do some things on both ends of the ice, and you could stay. If not, hit the bricks, and Sid, you got to play with Hornquist.
25 games?
Yes.
25 games?
Do you remember what happened in games 1 through 25 last year in the regular season in the NHL?
No, not of any year.
Right.
I think that's the point.
But my thing is, Daniel Sprong for that long, I mean, put him up there. I'm with you. The only thing I worry about Daniel Sprong on that top line is that means Sidney Crosby is the defensive responsibility, because Gensel's not going to do it, Sprong's not going to do it, so Crosby has to work twice as hard on the defensive end. That's the only concern I have with Sprong. But, yeah, I'm for it to start, but I wouldn't run it for that long. I think you can get a test after maybe 10 games on how it's going.
Or 2 training practices and then move him around. Mike Sullivan changes this like, I changed my undershirt. So, he's going it's not going to stay this way. And how long he should be there, this is the correct answer. On, like you said, call an easiest question. It's the answer. However long Sidney Crosby wants him to be there.
Well, if he doesn't like it, then the next move would be what? Because Patrick Hornquist has had success there. I know that's not the kind of guy maybe Sidney would like up there. But Dominic Simone, who is not slated to be on this roster by a lot of people's accounts, he seems to fit well on that top line.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
You watched the playoffs last year, Bob.
I did, but I'm just telling you.
You just said Dominic Simone. You want him on the top line to start the year.
He's a young kid. He may develop. Who knows? I'm just saying he's an option.
Woo. But Dominic, the same Dominic Simone that played for the Penguins last year.
Yes.
That guy. There's not 2 guys named the same name.
He is in the mix. Let me just say that. He is in the mix. Whether or not he ends up there or not, we'll find out. Man, you guys don't like it. Well, what's your other option then, Jeff? What would be your other option?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe you can go back to Rust. Maybe it is Hornquist. I mean, they are such a mixer. Last year we went up to Crosby. I was in sometime in March, and we were asking about different line combinations. And after we were over, he said, "Seriously?" He said, "You know how many different guys I've had?" He said, "It doesn't really matter. They're just going to throw whomever they throw, and we just go out and play. And it does help when there's injuries." So, I mean, listen, they could put Rust up there. They could put whomever they wanted. Maybe they're going to put Derek Brassard up there because they're not going to play him at center.
And just because Rust stunk last year doesn't mean he's going to stink this year, right? I mean, he has history there, so I would think that he would be a better option than Dominic Simone, right? Right, Bob?
I'm just telling you that I think he has what it takes to play on that line. Whether or not he takes advantage of the opportunity, whether or not he'll even get one, we'll see. But
Bob,
the other thing I will tell you this, I think that Malkin and Kessel play together all year. Don't mix them around. Don't go into this 3-center thing or 3 stars. You have the third. Kessel's got to be separate from Malkin and Crosby. No, I think Malkin and Kessel play extremely well. They have a unique relationship, Colin, and they should play together.
I think you're way too worried about this for September 15th or whatever today's date is, Bob. You know it always shakes itself out. It always does with the Penguins.
Wait,
it always works out.
You've determined the top line until January.
I have. And I'm not going to think about it again until then.
I'm with you, Bob. I think you're right. I don't care what Kessel does or whatever. That is the best situation. They try to put him on a third line. No. Don't mess with him and Malkin. Don't mess with those with that pairing, and don't mess with Jake Gensel up with Crosby.
All right. That's the Penguins situation as we have it right now. They'll start playing preseason games this coming week. They got 2 over the weekend at PPG Bates Arena. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Pirates, who won today. Trevor Williams and Jamison Tyone have turned into very consistent, top-of-the-rotation guys. So what do they have to do in the offseason to help those guys out? We'll get into it, and we'll also talk about Chris Archer. What's the problem with him? All coming up next right here on the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown.